Hello, everybody. I am Patti Negri, and welcome to the Witching Hour, that hour of the day when the veil is thin and magic happens. The magic on this show is in my beautiful, magical guests. And today is a beautiful, magical guest and dear, dear friend of mine. Let me introduce you to Henry San Miguel. He has been a radio broadcaster for over 30 years and a podcaster for 12 years. His first brush with the paranormal at age 4, he has had a fascination with the supernatural. His career gave him access to paranormal experts, which ultimately led Henry to starting his Paranormal Perception Podcast. He's also the owner of 22 Creations Multimedia LLC, a multimedia production company that specializes in pre and post production for film and television, as well as sound design and audio production for radio, podcasts, and for film and broadcast media. Henry is currently the host of Paranormal Perception and the organizer of Orange County Paracon. Yes, Orange County Paracon, the first ever paranormal conference in Anaheim, California. Welcome, Henry.
Thanks, Patty. Hello, everybody.
Hi, I'm honored to be a part of County Paracon. So, let's start there, if you will. So, tell people, what is Orange County Paracon?
Well, it's like you said, it is it's Anaheim's first ever, and I know this because I asked you, I asked a lot of people that have been here pretty much their entire life from the paranormal community, for paranormal celebrities, and I asked them, have you guys ever been to a paranormal con? Because you and I, we've been to a lot of them.
Yeah.
Most of the ones we went to, none of them were in California. I don't think.
No.
Maybe one at Macalumni Hill that was in Jackson, California,
Yeah.
but most of
Way
them
up.
are. Yeah, most of them are in Nevada or Arizona or East Coast somewhere. But I asked people here, have you guys ever been to a paranormal conference? And they had to think about it. I remember you had to think about it. Like, no,
Yeah.
like there's film festivals. There's San Diego Comic Con just happened this past weekend. There's those kind of things, but not a paranormal conference like what you and I go to. So when I first moved here to Southern California, it was back in 20 at the end of 2019. That was an idea that started. Hey, new city, new everything. Let's do something new with the show. So I said, let's do a conference. However, the world had other ideas. 2020, the world shut down,
Yeah.
so it remained an idea. And then 2021, we were just about ready, but like everybody, we were the hotel. They weren't really sure we couldn't gather, so we just went virtual to keep it safe. This year, knock on wood, this year it's going to be in person no matter what happens. I mean, if we have to, we'll follow whatever protocols they give us, but we will be in person because, like all those other events that I mentioned, the film festivals, everything. The main thing is I love talking to you and all the speakers that are going to be there, but I especially love meeting paranormal enthusiasts, people that love the paranormal, want to learn more about the paranormal. And I keep saying that in all the interviews that I do, I want them all to know that this is for them. We all have our platforms. We have our own podcast. You're on television all the time. I do some TV sometimes also. So we all have our own platforms. This is really a platform, if you will, for them, for the attendees, where they can meet someone like you who they see on television, or they listen to your podcast or watch you read your book. They can meet you there. And I can tell you guys, Pat is really, really, really friendly. The way you see her on everything she does, she's even friendlier in person. You'll see when you go. So you get to meet everybody there, but it's for them. It's a safe space for them. That everybody's there for the same thing. That we all love the paranormal. We all have an interest in the paranormal. So that no one's going to be looking at you sideways like, oh, you like that stuff. It's going to be, oh, you like that, me too. And you're going to probably make a lifelong friend there. So that's what the main thing that I want people to understand who are thinking about going to OC Paracon is know that it's for you. It'll be your haunted house, if you will, away from home for that weekend at least.
That is beautiful. And yeah, you do meet the nicest of people and like-minded
Mhm.
people. We met at a Paragon. We met at Virginia City, which you were a
Yeah,
major, major part of the host and recording everything on beautiful, our friend Doug, who's now
yeah.
in the other world. He's going to come, but in spirit form now.
Hmm.
So that's where we first met. And you do meet the bestest of friends.
Yeah.
So, everybody out there, I know all my witchy people, and I've got a lot of paranormal people. Come check it out because it's going to be. I'm doing a séance, a gallery, a combination kind of séance gallery. I'm going to
Yeah.
do all sorts of fun things. Yeah. So
that'll be on the Saturday night. It's a ticketed event for everybody. Does separate ticketed event. You have your regular ticket, but then you also need an extra ticket to be in Patty's seance that Saturday night.
yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah,
Maybe Mickey Mouse will come. I don't know. We're doing it in Anaheim. That's wild.
maybe even the real. Well, he's literally right down the street from where the hotel is. The hotel is actually a Disneyland partner, I guess they call him. You'll
Mhm.
know. In other words, when you walk in, he's everywhere. Mickey Mouse and the gang, they're all over the hotel.
That's
So
good.
you
Because
get
who
that, then
doesn't
you go
like
into the
Disney?
spooky for OC Paracon.
Yeah, that is awesome. So who else are some of the people we're going to have there?
You like you said, it's I should mention also this is since about a month ago. It's now a joint event. I'm putting it on obviously Paranormal Perception, but it's also Unearthing the Supernatural, who you met at Stefan Brigati's. They were here for that. They're my spiritual and paranormal consultants on the show. Every time they do anything, they blow people's mind with the knowledge that they have. And we off the air, we get along. They're in another state. They're in Arizona. I'm here, but we talk all the time for hours, and not just about the paranormal, but it's just it's about life. And even though they're younger than me, they're like old souls to me. I mean, I've learned so much from them from about life, paranormal, vice versa. They ask me things about media, and and I've helped them out with some things that they do on their YouTube channel. So it was just natural that, in fact, that weekend when they came here to California for Stefan's Bugatti's Paracon, they stopped by my house to say hi, and we were talking afterwards, and it was just natural. Yeah, let's partner on this and organize. They'll be there, but they'll also helping me to organize OC Paracon. But besides
And
that, yeah, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, for people who don't know who Unearthing the Paranormal, yes, they are a paranormal group, a paranormal, but they are Native American. They are Navajo tribe, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
And
The
they,
hero, the older one, he's actually he was picked by his elders because he's psychically gifted. So he was picked from a young age. All the Navajo teachings, the spiritual teachings, have been passed on to him because decades from now, he's going to be an elder. He's going to be carrying on the everything from the Navajo Nation with him, and he's also an exorcist, so Navajo exorcist. I never even knew there was such a thing. So,
yeah.
yeah, you'll everybody going to OC Paracon, you're going to learn a lot just from them alone.
Yeah, every time I've been to Vulture City, at Stefan's thing and yours, all my spiritual folks and my spiritual seekers out there, this is something probably very different than you have. It is magic from the Native American Navajo. There's drumming, there's chanting, there's ritual, there's magic.
Yeah,
It's worth it in itself
yeah,
because
yeah,
you'll feel it. Yeah.
and another one to answer your question, another one that I really like. I'm glad she came on. She was a guest on the show a few weeks ago. Her name was MG Stevens. She's an author, but she's also neurodivergent medium empath. And I wasn't
Now,
sure
what
what
does
that
that
was.
mean? What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people when I asked them, they had your same reaction. Like, what does that mean? Neurodivergent is basically you have some mental issue, ADD, ADHD, but you're
Right.
also gifted. And MG makes it clear that just because you have some neuropsychological disorder doesn't mean you're gifted or vice versa. But it's definitely, and we had an entire episode about that, and people loved it. It was one of the most downloaded ones, where she's trying to bring more attention to that, the people that are neurodivergent, medium, psychic. So she wrote an entire book. It's called The Boogeyman Chronicles, about that. It covers her experiences from a young age to now, but it also helps to shed light on neurodivergent mediums, like I said, and definitely, again, like from all the emails that I got when she was on, it's a topic that a lot of us know, but don't know, if that makes sense. So yes, her wanting to shed some light in it. That I'm glad that she decided that, yeah, I'll put on the presentation for that. So she'll one that I'm looking forward to.
That is beautiful. And yes, that is a buzzword now, right now, neurodivergent. Actually, the girl that I work with, my Rachel, who runs my life, I remember she told me she was neurodivergent, and I'm like, what? Is that a disease? Can I catch it? Is there penicillin for that? No, because she different personality things that don't fit into what we've as said words normal for so many
Yeah,
years. You do it and you're like, this is so she's always said she could never hold down a regular job to fit into these parameters that we've given in this the years of what it is.
Society, yeah.
So instead of holding on a job, she's the best entrepreneur I know, owns all these companies, nationwide companies, because she doesn't have to follow any rules. And that's, I think, where the world is going. So we do need, let people, it's like they're a little odd. Yeah, they are a little odd. And you know how gifted they are because it's odd, either as they're a medium or they're a business
Yeah.
person like Rachel. They usually are really gifted. If they're missing a one little thing in their head somewhere, that they don't say the right thing all the time, the other gifts that they have are amazing. Amazing. So I
Yeah.
love that she's going to be there.
Yeah, yeah, me too. And another one, you and I know is Jeff Dwyer. He's I've known him for a long, long time. He was also a friend of Dark Carnahan's, and he was at Virginia City and all the other ones that he did. So Jeff's been a long time friend actually. With not with Paranormal Perception, the other show I used to do, he used to be my Halloween guy. He used to be on every Halloween episode, and it was the listeners loved hearing all his experiences, all the stories from him. But when I said, Jeff, I'm gonna do our own now. Do you want to be? Even though he's not from Southern California, I said, do you want to be? I didn't even finish the sentence. He said, yes, I want to. I definitely want to be there. And he is relevant to some, even though he doesn't live in Southern California, because one of his books, the Ghost Hunter's Guide series, is about L.A., Orange County, all of Southern California, really. So his presentation is going to be about that. For those of you that I've been thinking about doing a ghost hunt or going out, especially because remember, OC Paracon is on the first weekend of Halloween. Everybody starts thinking spooky. We talk about it all year long, but everybody starts thinking about it come October 1st. So
Yep.
if you're thinking, let's do a ghost hunt, Jeff Dwyer, if you go to OC Paracon, he'll give you advice on how to do it, where to do it, and especially specifically here in Southern California. You and I, we know some locations, but he knows some that I didn't even know about. Those are
Yeah.
in his book, so he'll talk about that. Another interesting one is Vernon Mahabal. He's been on. Those of you that listen to Coast, and if you've been on the show with George, he's been on there a lot. He's a palmist. He does palmistry, and I keep joking on the air that that's a panel where you're probably not going to look at Vernon. You're going to be looking at your palms because he's going to explain, what does this line mean? What does this mean? Because he we all have a blueprint. You know how sometimes we'll stuff like, oh, I wish I had a blueprint or directions on life. It's actually right here, is what he's saying. And both of our hands, the left and the right, they're different. All almost 8 billion people on the planet. We're all different. So, and it's
Yeah.
our guideline, our guide, everything is on there. So he'll be on there doing a presentation on that. We also have Nicole Strickland. She's coming down from San Diego. She has her own show, but she's also a Queen Mary expert. So she'll be doing a
Oh.
presentation on the Queen Mary. And I'm not gonna say who, only because it's not confirmed. I'll just say there may be some surprise guests connected to the Queen Mary as part of her presentation. Like again, we haven't confirmed, so I'm just gonna say maybe surprise guests. Who else is going to be there? I have a list. Oh, Peter Bea. He's from Port Washington in Washington, Seattle, I think, by the Seattle area. He also puts on a paranormal conference over there. He also has a show. He's a medium. He has a pretty interesting story. So he'll come on. His presentation actually is going to be something that I think is very much needed, because people go on investigations, ghost hunting, they capture a picture or EVP or something great, especially if you're there for like a day, a whole day, a whole night. um, Pete's presentation is going to be about how do you review the data and how do you present it so that even the most skeptic of skeptics won't be a skeptic anymore. Say that fast 5 times.
Yeah. No.
Even just the most non-believer, they're going to have a problem not believing your data. So that's his presentation will be about that. Because, like I said, I think that's something that a lot of people forget.
Yeah.
It's fun going out there and especially when you're with a team, and exciting when you get the EVPs going and the REM pods light up, the dowsing rods move, but then you have to review all that hours of footage, and he'll show you how to do that and how to present the best evidence. So he'll show you how to do that.
That
Uh,
is brilliant, honestly, because I don't people all the time, they come to me, they think that I'm gonna be some expert, and they show me, "Look at this," and I have no idea what I'm looking at, and, like, it's something in a corner of this, they don't know how to point it out right, and I was never good at Where's Waldo, I was never good at Highlighter magazine where you find it's like, I don't know what I'm looking at, so,
Yeah,
I think that's good that somebody directs somebody on how to look at this stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then another person is Rick McCullum. I think you know Rick.
Oh,
Rick, I
yes.
think he just got back from, did he go Scotland or Ireland? He always has a big trip. I think it's in Scotland or in Ireland that he goes, and he's told me a lot of stories. You've been, or you going to? I
I
don't remember.
just was in Ireland. I was just
Yeah.
in Ireland. Don't have
So
Scotland yet. Maybe next year, my Ireland trip is gonna include some Scotland.
yeah, yeah, and you know now, but Rick was telling me on when he came on the show, it's very very haunted. Number one, two, he goes to I think one or two castles because he has a whole tour that he puts together, and those are some of the ghosts now know him, and he also wrote a book, in fact, called that. It's an award-winning book actually now. So he's going to talk about his experiences. He keeps saying, "I've been doing it forever," it's a running joke we have. I keep telling him, I think John Zaffis has you beat as long as who's been doing it
Johnny
longer.
does. He's grandfather. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you guys are gonna live Rick. I just did a TV show with him. We can't talk about, but it was pretty funny. It was a
yeah,
new Travel Channel show. It was funny, scary, all those things that it needs to be, but it was funny.
yeah, yeah.
I
Rick's
wish I could.
another one that when I talk to him on, not on the show, but just like we were just talking. I call him just for I need this or I need a picture. We end up talking for 5 hours and we talk about paranormal stuff, but also just life. And also, since we're both in the industry, we know a lot of actors and directors, and we all have stories about who we work with and what we did, and we share stories like that. So he's a really fun guy, and I should mention also, all weekend, you and everybody else, you guys have your presentations, but you'll also be able to, everybody will be able to meet you guys and talk to you guys. You'll all be in the exhibitors rooms. You'll be there all weekend. So if
Yeah.
they're not on the main stage, they'll be, because we have two rooms. The main stage and then the other room where everybody will be all weekend long. If taking your books, if you have books, some have
Taking
movies, whatever.
pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever they're doing, you get to meet them. In other words, that's the best part is everyone, all these people that you see on television or you hear them on podcast, on radio. Now you get them all to yourself for however long
Yeah.
you can talk to them. That's the best part about, I think, about doing something like OC Paracon.
Yeah, that I love them too. That's why I love it because I mean I've got my little books. You want a book? But we just get to talk to people all day. People that we didn't get to talk to. That's beautiful. I'm also excited about the palmist egg
Yeah.
because that is not an art I have. I don't know how to do this. And when I was a little kid, my mom was singing like at a senior home or something like this.
Hmm.
This little lady grabbed my hand, which I wouldn't do. I don't think that you should do that without permission. But she grabbed my hand and basically told me my whole life story from how many husbands and not children, everything on this little kid's hand. It's amazing. Yeah, it's all written right here between what's written in the stars from your astrology and what's on your hands.
Did
Uh,
that lady, did she tell you you're going to be on television? You're going to do this?
No, she didn't go there with it. But she definitely got 3 husbands. I am on husband number 3, so I know should be my last one. And then all this weird stuff, about, pregnancy and non-pregnancy and fertility stuff, which hit me hard when all this stuff happened when I was 16. So that's why
Mhm.
she could have said it differently or not said it at all. It might have gone over better, but it was amazing just looking at little lines in your hands. And it's
Yeah.
kind of a lost art. I don't know very many psychics or mediums who do palmistry anymore
Yeah,
at
and
all.
he'll probably say it on the presentation. He's not shy about it. He doesn't hide that. We've all seen palm readers at like fairs, or I think there's one down the street where I live actually. He says they're not the real deal because
Yeah.
he actually he studied Vedic teachings or something, and he went
Mhm.
to India and spent a lot of years over there. So he learned from the Yodas, I'll say, about palmistry. So he knows what he's doing for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, in this whole business of psychics, mediums, healers, fa sadly, it's the worst business in the world because there's more fakes than real. That just is. You always check out anybody you're going to. Don't let anybody drive you fear-based or control-based. Just run. Check Yelp, check anything you can, and you will see the legit ones stand out.
Yeah.
And the not legit ones just want more money,
Yeah. Yeah. I
and they
mean,
do an
I don't think I've
upsell.
ever asked you that. Is like how can you tell when someone's the real deal and not?
How you can tell, again, really do research though. Are they certified somehow? That's why we started in, a decade ago, American Federation of Certified Psychics and Mediums,
Mm,
because the guy who started it, he was a lawyer, he's a linguist, one of my teachers and mentors, Maximilian de Lafayette, who writes a lot of alien books. He did a art magazine article on me, and he did and some other girl. He goes, "Oh my God, you guys are amazing. You guys need a professional organization. Plumbers have them, doctors have them, secretaries have them, nurses." He goes, "'Cause it's true. For every one good and legitimate, trained, gifted one who's out there to help people, there's 1,000 scam artists who just wanna upsell you." So the first thing, if they tell you you have a curse, run, because you don't. And if you do, go get some lemon and some salt. As a rule, regular people, they're gonna tell you that. If it seems to be control-based or fear-based, or they wanna upsell you, "Oh, you need the special candle, and we're gonna take it to the church. I mean, or we're gonna do this, and we have to bury it, and we have to get you have a demon, you have to get a $500 box, and it'll become into a $5,000 box," whatever they can get. So just run. Just it should be empowering when you go. They should see things. They should give you a little something that, okay, you wouldn't know that. That's good. But we know magicians can do that. Mentalists can do that too. You've got to be in there feeling, wow, this is a path. This is something I could do, and I'm going to feel good. I'm going to go out with tools that I can do. Not just you need to come back and see me 17 times now because you've got a demon on your third chakra. It's, you know,
yeah.
just check them out.
Yeah, and okay, maybe a little biased, but I don't see that when you do your because I think we filmed a couple of your seances, and I've
Yeah.
been at some with you. That's what I've always liked about your seances. That and I warn people that are they're part of the management for wherever we are, the location. That's even if you're just standing around, someone from your family or friend may come through to deliver a message. And
Yeah.
a lot of them, I remember in Virginia City the last time we did it back in 2020. The one of the owners there or manager there, she was just sitting on the side, making sure everything was okay. And I told her, I said, "You, someone may come through." And said, "No, no, no." In the middle, and again, it's on our video. Her grandma came through and delivered a message, and she was in tears. And I see that all the time. I've also seen other ones where it's obvious it's not it's not legit
Yeah.
because I call them dart throwers. They're like, I see your red hair, blue hair, no brown hair. Okay, which is it? No, but
Yeah.
yours
Yeah.
are honestly yours are magical. And I'm not saying it just because I'm on
Oh,
you.
thank you.
I tell everybody when they ask me like, what's Patty like? So, well, like I always say, well, you see the way you see her on television, she's nicer in person. One, and when she does her things or when she shows her gifts, it's literally magical.
Oh,
You're
you were
definitely
so
you've always
sweet.
been like up there. That again, that's why you needed to be at OC Paracon.
Thank you. I am honored to be at OC Paracon. Yeah, it's just it's a gift I was given. I'm
Yeah,
grateful for it, and I've studied it my whole life. And I, you have to learn what you're doing. You could be natural piano virtuoso, but you should study music as well. So and I'm not sensational. I pull back, and I am nicer than on TV because usually on TV I'm like stuck in the dark. It's
yeah,
darker than it looks on TV. They always say it's pitch black, but you're seeing it with a night vision camera. No, I'm just in the blind going,
yeah.
ah,
Yeah, no, I
and
can tell you being on the camera. I've been on the camera in some of those. It is pitch black.
it's pitch
We
black.
all we see is a little green square. We can barely see where we're walking.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, and again, it's
Yeah,
not laughing mode because like Zach will go, okay, go to the basement by yourself. Say, okay, yeah.
yeah.
I have a
Well, and
tell. Yeah.
no, we'll say if you're like in a hotel or some house somewhere, it's you can kind of figure out where you are. But when you're out in the mine or out in the middle of nowhere in the forest somewhere, you have no idea. And then our senses go into overdrive and we start hearing things and we think we see things, and then with your gift that's amplified. So yeah, it's a whole thing. You're out there shooting.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have no sense of direction on a good day. I'm not even talking when I'm in trance state like I usually am and all this stuff. I I'm like, and it's weird, sad for an elemental witch where you do everything by north and it's like north, north. I don't know, because I really, if I didn't live under the Hollywood sign, I wouldn't know how to get home. If I don't see landmarks, even like if I stay in a hotel and I've been there for days, I walk out of the hotel room towards the elevator. I walk the wrong way every time. No
Yeah,
sense of direction. So put me in a dark house with a bunch of spirits around. It's like or whatever. Yeah, no sense.
yeah.
Lost. So tell us about your first I know those of us drawn to the paranormal usually have a gift and have an experience. So what happened to you at 4 years old?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever told you the story
You
before.
haven't.
Oh, as the light goes out. Hold on, let me turn the light back on.
See, the ghost did it. We lost Henry. Now he's gotta get a different light.
No, it's the same light. It went out.
And it's still
Probably
out.
is the ghost. Is it?
Uh,
Can
yeah,
you see me?
probably is. Yeah, just barely, but it's okay. It's spooky now. We're gonna go into a story.
Yeah.
So you just did some lighting.
Yeah. Let me put in a little bit more.
Yeah. And those of you who know the show a lot or watch this paranormal stuff, they do affect it's electricity and energy. They just do. Your
Yeah.
cameras drain, your cell phones drain, professional cameras drain.
Yeah. There have been times when and wasn't a good thing because we were shooting the TV show and the cameras just they just sucked them dry. So much so much for that. You come back the next day. But yeah, like I said, I was about to say I don't think I've ever told you this story. We've done
No.
so many things, and I mean, because most of the time when we do Paracons is we're both running around or on stage doing something, so
Right.
we really don't have a lot of downtime. But because I grew up in San Francisco, this was back in San Francisco, the house that I grew up in. And I think I have told you this that I call it the haunted mansion because there were so many things that happened in the entire property really. But 4 years old, that was the first thing that kicked off my interest in the paranormal, and that was I woke up in the middle of the night, and there were a bunch of people coming out of my closet, which was weird as it was. And somehow in my little 4-year-old brain, I knew they weren't alive, they weren't real people. So I did what most 4-year-olds do: turn on the light, put the covers on my head till the sun came out, and when I did wake up, they were gone, obviously, and but the light was still on, which told me it was real. I wasn't dreaming, and I didn't imagine it. So from that point to now, that's when the interest began. I remember when, as 4 years old, I wanted to know who were they, why were they, how did they get there, where did they come from, and I lived in that house almost 40 or a little over 40 years before I
Wow.
moved over here. And I pretty much learned to live with them with the and it wasn't the same ones because it wasn't until the very end when we were going to sell the house to move over here to Southern California. Doug Carnahan, he went there and he actually brought well, actually one was my co-host at the time, two psychics, two mediums, and we went through the entire house, and finally I got answers. I didn't know exactly who they were, but we found out there's a portal. It's still there. They didn't close it. There was a portal in the hallway of the house, which explained why all those years living there, not just me, friends, family, they always saw shadows or heard things or heard disembodied voices or just felt weird. And when in October, because people that go to San Francisco, if you go into summer, take jackets because it's not as hot as you think. It's actually hotter in October. But even in October when it gets really hot in what they call earthquake weather in San Francisco, our house was always like free, like walking through refrigerators. There was always
Wow.
and it was always in cold spots. It was always in certain spots, and then it would just go away. So I always tell people I didn't go looking for the paranormal. It found me, and it kept finding me all those years. Um, Most normal people, I'll say, they when something like that happens, they usually run for the hills or sell their house. I don't want nothing to do with this. I was the opposite. Back then, yeah, I'm that old. Back then, there was no internet. There was no Ghost Adventures, no TV shows on
Mhm.
um, on television. There was none of that. So all we had were libraries with encyclopedias. Those are big books. That was the internet back then for people that don't know what's an encyclopedia.
Pre-Google.
Yeah.
What?
So that's how I found about everything. Um, and then as I started my radio career, I started in music, but every October because of Halloween they would bring in witches or psychics or something just because they wanted to be spooky. I was
Yeah.
the only one not on the air once we finished whatever they were doing on the air. Our funny thing that we did, I would take or sometimes they would take me aside and said, "Hey, when we were talking about it, you're the only one that was actually looking at us, not laughing at us." And then I would tell them about the house, and some of them went to the house and I started to learn more from them. What's happening? What is this all about? What does it mean? What are they? And that's when I learned about pretty much everything that all of us know at this point. And that doesn't mean I know everything. That's what I love about the paranormal. It
Yeah.
changes all the time.
Yeah.
Um, and just when we think we know something, something happens, and it's not
Yeah.
that was back then. Now, or a piece of equipment comes that shows us a different, no pun intended, perception of what
Yeah.
we thought. We knew. So again, that's kind of like my industry radio. That's why I love it because it's always changing all the time. It doesn't get boring. A day at the office is not like yesterday. It's always different. Always something going on. Same thing with the paranormal. It always changes, and it's different levels too. It's especially now with like now that I have Unearthed in the Supernatural, they've taken my knowledge from human spirits to entities, actual spirits that have been here long before any of us, and they'll probably be here long after us. But it all started, like I said, with that one experience when I was 4 years old. That I never questioned. I still don't know who the people. I think now that I know about that portal, I think they were just passing through, and yeah, like kids, animals, we can see spirits a lot. Because
Yes.
as we get older, except if they're like you or like me, but as most people get older, you start school, work, your life, whatever it is, and all that goes away. But
It gets taught out of us in our
yeah,
Western non-mystical society. I say it all the time.
yeah,
We took away the magic and the mystery and the mysticism. It's like
yeah,
your imaginary friends. And they do come out of the closet. I've always seen them come out of the closet, and I actually think they can become portals because a closet, and I had them in the closet and under the bed, almost classic, because there's usually not a lot of windows or light in the closet. There's not a lot of life force. You don't hang around in your closet. You just have stuff there.
yeah.
So I think that, like collecting dust bunnies, it can be a place for spirit to gather.
Hmm.
I see it all the time on clearing houses and stuff. So yeah, and then hiding under the covers. Yeah, that's how I still sleep like this. It's ridiculous. It's like, stop. You're not supposed to do that after a certain age. But
Yeah.
hmm. So anyway, so this is I have so many questions, but we do have to go. So tell everybody about paranormal perception and where they can hear and watch that. Tell everybody about OC Paracon and where they can come see us live.
Yeah, Paranormal Perception. There's a new episode every Friday. You can find everything on paranormalperception.show. You can find it on wherever, however you listen to podcasts, iTunes, Spotify. It's all on there. But I always tell people go to paranormalperception.show, the website, only because I didn't know this. I discovered this through listeners. There, some of the episodes were not allowed to go out because of the topics we
You
were
guys are
covering.
fun together.
Because
Really?
we covered about
You,
things
you,
other
you
than
you shut the
just
place down
ghosts
with the
and all that.
lights,
We covered
and then you had like this
prophecies,
weird,
numerology, all
funky
kinds of
black
things,
aura
and
around
sometimes they
you.
get into topics that I guess the
The
algorithms or whoever
Yeah.
doesn't want to get out there. So I noticed that
All right, so we're just
that
going
was
to do a
happening. I
quick
didn't know until
commercial.
the
Patty, you
listeners
want to
told me.
lead them
So
through it?
the
Wow.
unedited versions are definitely on paranormalperception.show on that website. Everything is on there. You can find out about me and everything that all the co-hosts and everything that's come. OC Paracon is exactly that. OCParacon.com. Um, if you're whenever you're listening or watching to this, if it's August, then you already know there's a special ticket sale because everything is expensive, not just gas. Everything is just getting more and more expensive, and there's no relief on the way. I can't bring the prices down, but I can help you out maybe with OC Paracon tickets. So there's a special sale going on. We did it 4th of July weekend. It was big. A lot of people bought their tickets then, but we're doing it now for even more than just one weekend. So it'll be there for a while, not the whole time. So if you've been thinking about it, stop thinking, get the tickets, and we'll see you at OC Paracon.
Come, join us. Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you, Henry San Miguel, my dear friend, expert in the paranormal, podcaster, broadcaster, and all around great guy. Thank you for visiting the Witching Hour.
Thank you, Patty.
Bye.